Do you believe that cheating is only when someone gets physically involved with another person? In fact, most cheating starts long before that, in such a subtle way that it goes unnoticed. What destroys a relationship is not always the body, it's what happens inside the head. This is where the most dangerous type of infidelity arises: emotional betrayal. The one that starts with conversations, secrets and feelings that should only be shared with those you love. If you want to better understand how this happens and learn how to protect yourself from this type of invisible betrayal, subscribe to the channel. Because here we talk about the truths that almost no one has the courage to say. Betrayal begins with admiration. It all starts in an almost invisible way. She is still by your side, smiling, talking, but something inside her has already started to change. Before, she looked at you with a sparkle in her eyes. She admired your posture, your attitude, the way you dealt with life, but over time, you became predictable. That man who inspired respect became the man she just tolerates. And when admiration dies, the heart begins to look for another place to feel alive. It could be a coworker who compliments you on something you've otherwise overlooked. It could be someone who makes you laugh while you're too quiet, or simply someone who listens when you're too tired to talk. These small, seemingly innocent moments are the starting point. There is no touch, there is no kiss, but there is already distance, and her mind starts to drift away long before her body follows suit. The most dangerous thing is that you hardly notice it. Routine masks the signs, and when you notice, the admiration is gone, taking with it the respect, desire, and connection that sustained the relationship. But admiration is only the beginning. The real danger comes when she begins to seek something even more addictive: validation. And this is where many men lose without even understanding why. The addiction to validation today. Social media has become a stage, and every like is like applause. Suddenly, what was once achieved with presence, affection, and conversation can now be achieved with a photo, a story, or a simple emoji, and that's where addiction is born. Each notification is a small burst of pleasure in the brain, a mini reward that activates the same area responsible for addictions like gambling or sugar. She posts, someone compliments her, she feels special. Repeat the gesture, and the cycle continues. Over time, this need for validation grows silently, until it becomes more important than recognition within the relationship. Because while you're there, offering real love, the virtual world offers something that seems even more irresistible: the constant feeling of being desired. And when this feeling comes from all sides, loyalty loses strength. What was once exclusive between the two of you is now shared with hundreds of anonymous gazes. And the most ironic thing? She can swear that she is not doing anything wrong. But emotionally, the bond is already being eroded, one like at a time. And while you think it's just more time on your phone, something deeper is happening. The beginning of emotional distancing. The kind that separates hearts long before separating bodies. At first glance, it seems that nothing has changed. She still gives you a quick hug, still says good morning, and continues to sleep next to you. But if you pay attention, you'll realize it's not the same anymore. Conversations, which once flowed effortlessly, are now short, almost mechanical. The laughter that once filled the house became rare, almost forced, and the silence, which was once comfortable, now weighs like a wall between you two. It is into this empty space that others begin to enter. She talks to colleagues, friends, or even strangers, not because she needs them, but because she needs to regain the feeling of being noticed, of being important, of being vista. What she no longer finds in you, she begins to look for outside. And the most painful thing is that this process happens before your eyes. There are no secret messages that you can prove. There is no flagrant. There is no confession. It's an invisible betrayal, made of absences and looks that no longer belong to you. And precisely because it is emotional, it hurts more than any physical act. But the most dangerous part is yet to come, because as this distance grows, she begins to rewrite the story of the two of you. And that's when the narrative reconstruction begins. Reconstruction of the narrative. When guilt starts to bother you, the mind looks for a way to defend itself. And that's how the narrative that justifies everything is born. She begins to repeat phrases to herself that lighten the weight of what she is about to do. I'm not happy with him. He doesn't understand me anymore. I deserve someone better. These phrases seem harmless, but they act as bricks building a new reality. One in which she is not the traitor, but the victim. You, who were once the partner, now become the villain of the story. She convinces herself that you are cold, distant, insensitive, and the other man, the one who just listened, now becomes the safe haven, the friendly shoulder, the emotional refuge. It's a powerful, almost automatic mental process. The human mind hates feeling guilt, so it distorts facts until everything seems logical. And when the narrative is ready, the next step happens almost without resistance. Emotional betrayal finally crosses the line and becomes physical. Not on impulse, but because in her head, everything was already justified. Hook. But there's an even darker stage, the one where loyalty has died, but the relationship remains. And that's when the most dangerous game of all begins. Fake love. She is still present, physically. He sits next to you, posts photos with you, holds your hand in public, says "I love you" almost automatically. But inside, she's already gone. The gaze that once sought you is now lost in the void. The gestures continue, but without soul, without emotion. It's as if she left her body at home, but took her heart elsewhere. And that's why so many men don't realize what's going on. Because emotional betrayal is subtle, silent, almost gentle. There are no fights, no explosions. There is just a distance that grows, millimeter by millimeter, every day. She still fulfills the role of a partner, but she no longer vibrates with you. She no longer dreams alongside you. And the cruelest thing is that, while you are trying to rekindle something, she has already extinguished the flame long ago. Emotional betrayal doesn't destroy all at once. It wears down, corrodes, weakens. It's a slow death, made of rehearsed smiles and empty kisses. And when you finally realize it, you've been loving alone for a long time. But what few understand is that there is a way to reverse this process, with you see the signs in time, and that's what we're going to talk about next. 6. The point of no return. There comes a time when nothing is ever the same again. It's not when she physically cheats on you, nor when you discover hidden messages. The point of no return happens much earlier, when she simply stops feeling, when love stops being an emotion and becomes just a memory. At this stage, she has completely disconnected. You can buy gifts, make surprises, change behavior, but it all seems useless, because nothing rebuilds what has already been emotionally broken. She looks at you, but doesn't see you. He hears you, but he doesn't listen to you. It's there, but only for convenience, comfort, or fear of starting over. And the saddest thing is that often, she herself doesn't realize how far she has strayed. The relationship goes into automatic mode. Two people living under the same roof, sharing the same routine, but without sharing anything else in their hearts. Touch becomes a habit. Affection becomes an obligation. And silence becomes the only space where truth still breathes. When that point comes, it's not just love that dies, it's hope. And this is where many men finally wake up, too late. Because it is impossible to rescue someone who has already broken inside. The only real choice is to look at yourself and understand what this story has come to teach you. Hook. But before it gets to that point, there are clear signs, small details that betray emotional estrangement long before the end. And if you learn to recognize them, you can avoid losing someone without even realizing that he has already lost. Conclusion. The bitter truth most. Women don't start cheating with their bodies. They start cheating with their minds. They trade loyalty for the thrill of feeling wanted again. They treat the attention of others as ego fuel, and the love they have at home as something taken for granted, too safe to be valued. And it is precisely this illusion that destroys many relationships. That what is stable no longer needs care. But nothing breaks a man more than loving alone, than giving your heart to someone who has already exchanged it without saying a word. Emotional betrayal is invisible, but devastating, because it doesn't tear the skin, it tears the soul. She turns affection into obligation, presence into appearance, love into routine. Therefore, understand, loyalty is not measured only by the body that remains, but by the soul that remains. It's about being truly present, respecting even when no one is watching, and keeping the connection alive even on the coldest days. When these three, presence, respect, and emotional truth, die, the relationship is over. But many men still insist on believing that just being there is enough for everything to be okay. In the next video, I'll show you the subtle signs, those small gestures and almost imperceptible changes that reveal when she started to pull away from you, even if she still says "I love you" every day.